Good moment, everyone.
Good morning and welcome to our daily contemplation. I'm Juna,
Sabine.
and we're from Synergy in Motion. And today we're going to talk about synergy. But first, just a little explanation of what we're doing here every day. We're coming together and really taking a moment to attune to you and your energy, to come here in this present moment and to listen to a little bit about our own contemplation on the 45th hexagram. And the hexagram is a Chinese symbol of the I-Ching, and it's all about gathering together. It's about community and family and relationships of the close encounters. That's the focus for the next few days. And so we're following the solar transit. It's progressive throughout the year. And so we're looking at it through the eyes of the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd and Human Design. And so we're talking about this together, and then we're bringing you a couple morsels that we find to be interesting and really helping you to live more true to you and your magic. So we're looking at how can you live more true to you, how can you trust you and trust yourself.
And this doesn't have the claim for completion or anything. It's just us playing with aspects of life and sharing that with you, because life is pretty phenomenal. Way too beautiful to not to share.
So synergy.
Yes.
And synergy, I mean, the name of our business is Synergy in Motion. And many years ago, the two of us, very different beings, very diverse beings, got together and created a synergy. And it was so exciting. We're really opposites attract, and there's a synergy that gets created when two or more gather together and life together, and just so many more experiences can happen. So much magic can happen when you embrace the synergy that's possible.
Mm-hmm. And in the last couple of days, we have talked about dominance, which doesn't allow synergy, because when you don't know who you are and don't trust your resourcefulness, your mind will always attempt to dominate a situation, whether that is you as an individual or we as a collective. Like we talked about history and where resources were rare and where the leaders and the tribes tried to dominate each other for the material possessions that we had. So it's all out of that scarcity. And when you move out of that scarcity and you start trusting yourself and knowing who you are, so that you can be you in the diversity of this world and life, there is an embracing of diversity and the difference. And part of that difference is in the way that we relate with each other. So when we relate with each other, it's not always the same way. We relate in harmonious ways, which is like...
Yeah, the two opposites attract. Like there's this opposites attract, and that creates a harmony, which is really exciting. There's something in the other that the other doesn't have, and it's like, ooh, this is fun. So there's a harmonious relationship. Or there can be resonant, where I'm like you, you're like me, and like attracts like. So that's resonance, and then the harmony, and then there's dissonance. And that's if you're a musical person and you play two notes on the piano right next together, there's this dissonance. Or if you're walking and there's a stone in your shoe, it's like there's this little grain of sand that could become the pearl. It's a bit of an irritation. It's like a little bit off. Okay. And we're calling this dissonance, where we try to dominate the dissonance, like if we're dominating with our mind, we want to wipe out all dissonance so that we have this harmony, and that's not what synergy is. It's not about dominating through the mind.
So, and the dominance really tries to dominate all of it, right?
Yeah.
It tries to maintain the harmony and create a resonance, but from the mind, not really allowing life to unfold in its diversity and beauty. And again, when you come to that point of knowing yourself and trusting yourself, allowance that can unfold, and with that comes a synergy where you allow in your life, in yourself, and in your life, in the way that you relate with people, the diversity to be present. And with that comes that synergy where suddenly the different parts play together in all those three ways.
So you can have the harmony and the dissonance and the resonance, and it creates the synergy.
And it unfolds into something that is more than the individual parts. And that's where the magic starts sparkling.
This is the magic.
where it's suddenly something more beautiful, more dynamic, and more intense sometimes is created. But this does not happen when you try to control from your mind.
And try to make everything the same, like homogenization of the culture, right? It might work for a little while, it might feel safe for a little while, but it never can grow. The dissonance, the grain of sand is that edge, and then the synergy embraces all of these things.
And the synergy always creates something very different. Not necessarily always more, but it's always this constant unfolding of life and adventure, and very, very abundant. And when we dominate, it just creates the same thing over and over and over and over in different shades and forms, but it's always the same thing. So stepping out of that sameness into the diversity and letting it fly and be itself really opens up for something that the mind cannot fathom. And we always ask, how does it relate to us and how does it relate to you? And in this case, really look, where are you maintaining a false harmony or a resonance that is actually ready to shift into something new? And where are you trying to eliminate that dissonance instead of allowing it to invite you into a change that would bring forth more of you? Instead of being in that sameness over and over, day in, day out, ignoring, dominating the dissonance. Allow all three to be there, because those three energies play with each other and excel each other. Like we talked the other day about the leapfrog, right? Sometimes one energy is more present than the other, and then it moves into the next way. There's a beauty in that, but what is required of you is that trusting yourself, knowing yourself, and also relaxing within yourself.
So let's do that now.
Right now, trust yourself, know yourself.
Well, just relax. Relax into the synergy of you.
Yeah, take a moment.
All these diverse parts of you. There's parts that are the same. There's parts that want to change. There's parts that seem to not go together, but really embrace all of the synergy of you, all the parts of you coming together in this, beautiful mess of synergy, where all the parts together create more, relaxing into the synergy of you. Taking a breath and allowing yourself to connect to the earth, the sky, connect to your spine, your breath. Perceive the resonance to your energy, frequency, and signature. And then perceive any kind of dissonance and breathe into it. Allow it. It is here for change. Embracing the change, embracing the diversity within yourself allows you to embrace the diversity, the dissonance outside of you, in others. Just notice where you try to make others like you. Notice where you're cutting off parts and pieces of you so that you fit in with someone else's way of being. And just notice and make a choice to let that go.
Or hold on to it.
Or hold on.
And with all of that, with the resonance, the dissonance, there's a natural harmony that unfolds. There's a sweetness of life and its diversity. And I invite you to dare to dive into that sweetness of diversity in its big, big spectrum, in all its intensity, all its gentleness. And your mind will not be able to understand this, but your being knows this. Just
allow the grain of sand to become a pearl. Good. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being willing to jump into the synergy of you, the synergy in relationships that embrace the diversity of the not you, right? It's like embracing all of it.
And the diversity of you, who you are, who you're not, who you want to be.
Who are you yet to become?
Yeah. And with all of that,
remember you are creating a whole new world today. A whole new world with this synergy.
And we will see you tomorrow at 9 here at Synergy in Motion.